Okay, here we are for 8.3, I'm sorry, 8.3. And 8.3 is we want to be able to graph quadratic functions, okay? And we want to look at minimums and maximums, okay? So one of the things that we're going to work on is this formula. Well, let me write this. Okay, so remember we've had C. So C has been our y-intercept, right, friends? Okay. And A in the front has been kind of our slope, right? What makes things steeper, what does up and down, what makes it narrow or wider, all that good stuff, okay? So now we're going to use the formula negative b over 2a. Notice where the b is, and of course the a. So I'm going to put the b as a different color as soon as I find a different color. Red. Okay, and that's your B. This is the axis of symmetry, which is also the x value of the vertex. Okay, remember that your min or your max is going to be the y value of your vertex. Okay, so let's get started with one of the first equations. All right, y is equal to 3x squared minus 2x. Okay, so if you're thinking about A, B, and C, so I like to go through and say, okay, who's A? Well, A would be 3. Who's B? B would be -2. And who's C? Oh, I don't see any, so that must be 0. Okay, so one of the first things I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do -b over 2a. So I'm going to go a negative, but it's already a -2, so it's a double negative, okay? All over 2 times 3. So I'm going to color code this so you can see where these numbers are coming from, okay? And here's B, and here's B, and here's B, okay? So what do I get here? 2 negatives make a positive, so that's 2 over 6, which reduces to 1/3, okay? So if I were graphing this off to the side here, okay, I would right away, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use my red pen here. I'm going to put a dotted line because this is my axis of symmetry. It's at 1/3, okay? It is also the x value of the vertex, okay? So the next question is, how do I find the y value of the vertex? Well, step 2, so this is really step 1. Step 2, go ahead and take that 1/3 and plug it into your equation. So instead of x, let's plug in 1/3. That's going to tell us where that's going to hit, okay, on the y on this axis of symmetry. So 3, and you can put this whole thing right in on your calculator. In fact, let me show you exactly what I'm talking about, okay? So you can do 3, 1 divided by 3 squared minus 2 times 1 divided by 3. So see how I put that whole thing right in on my calculator? So I'm going to hit, oh, Now, if you don't want to deal with a decimal, go ahead and go math and frac it up, and you get negative 1/3. So y is negative 1/3. So of my vertex, I'm at 1/3, negative 1/3. So here I am right there. Okay. Now, what are you given for the rest? So how do we come up with the rest? Well, step number 3, you have choices. Okay. You have a couple choices. You could use the fact that you know the slope. So the slope is your 3. That was your A. Okay. So in that case, it would be 3/1, and it's always over 1, friends. Or use the y-intercept. Okay, or the y-intercept, which was 0, which is your C value right there. So you could have done that. I'm going to use my C. So I'm going to go here. And I know that what I do to one side, I do to the other. So this is only 1/3 away, right? So you need to mirror that over here on this side as well. And then draw your parabola. Okay. So let me throw in this last piece. All right. So what is this, a min or a max? Well, this is a minimum. Why is it a minimum? Because it's pointing up. We could have predicted that right here at the beginning. Okay, what part is the minimum? It's negative 1/3. Here it is right here. It is the y value of your vertex. Okay, so we just say y is equal to negative 1/3. Okay, let's do another one. Y is equal to, let's do this, negative 1/2 x squared plus 7x minus 4. Okay, here we go. Let's color code. A, negative 1/2. B, 7. C, color did I do C? Oh, C was yellow. Okay, so my formula is negative b over 2a, b over 2a. All right, so what do we got? Negative 7 over 2 times a negative half. All right, what do I get here? Negative 7, 2 times a negative half is negative 1, and 7 over 1 is 7. Okay, remember, that is my axis of symmetry. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm gonna put a mark right there. All right. Ooh. There's my axis of symmetry. Okay. This is also my x value of my vertex. So step number 1, I found my x. Step number 2, I need to find my y. So remember, I'm going to plug this in to my equation. Y equals negative 1/2 7 squared plus 7 times 7 minus 4. All right, I'm going to plug that whole thing in on my calculator. Hey, by the way, can you tell whether this parabola points up or down? You're right. It does. It does point down. And I get 20.5. Okay, 20.5. 20.5. Wow. So yeah, I'm just going to kind of make a markup here and call it 20.5. Okay, even though I'm not going to go up that far. Okay, sad face. Now remember, 20.5, okay? That's my y value, right? And we just said that this parabola points down, doesn't it? Huh. So is this a min or a max? This is going to be a maximum. In fact, it's at y is equal to 20.5. Okay? 20.5. Now, I could use my c, okay, here. I could make this c would be 1, 2, 3, 4. So this parabola would come way out here. So it's going to come way out here. And the other way. I can also use the slope. So this is my c. Or I can use my slope. And my slope, remember, was -1/2. And I need to show you how to do this because I can't just do, -1/2. That doesn't necessarily work. It needs to be over 1. So when you do a parabola, you would have to go down 1/2 and over 1, okay, to get the proper, okay? So it'd be down 1/2 and 1 to the right, okay? All right, so we're gonna take some time and really practice these pieces and identifying on your graphs. Thanks, friends.